Hello friends, this is Leo and welcome to the post-market report. So let's understand how the Nifty and Bank Nifty moved today. So Nifty had a gap down opening of about 200 points from the last day's close. Last day's closed at around 23,600 levels and it opened at around 23,400 level, right? And it's almost like a 200 point gap down. And from there, market moved all the way higher. Okay, and it recovered completely all the downfall, and it even moved very close to 23,700. Okay, and I made a tweet this morning, and there's a tweet I made this morning, and I clearly called out that I pointed out there is a opportunity for the buyers to step in. I also noted that will this be the bottom today? We'll find out. Check the flow for more details, right? This I have tweeted this morning. I do not know how many people are following those tweets, but if you have followed it, you would have got a clarity, okay? And also, in fact, people in the trading room today asked about the TV scripts, the trading view scripts, and this is a script I was talking about, So the script gave an indication here, right? And from here at this point, if one made an entry here at this point, which is at around 23,540, this is a gap of above 150 points. Okay, and this is how the script works. So this is this was a script I was talking about. Again, this is not a buy and sell recommendations, but since somebody asked about the script, I'm just showing you the scripts. Now let's go and take a look at the market profile chart. So the market profile chart, there was a previous couple of lows which I have marked here. Market came pretty close to it, but then it bounced back from there, right? And it almost went near the yesterday's point of control, which is 23,750. Okay, and it's just a 50-point gap. I mean, a difference, but I think it is still considerably very close to the yesterday's point of control. And it gave a one-way move from the bottom to the market closure. Okay. Now let's go and take a look at the order flow chart, which is the key, right? So if you look at the order flow chart, we had buyers stepped in at these levels, buyers stepping in at these levels, okay? And we can see that in the bottom, this is a cyan color, okay? This is a cyan color, and cyan color tells you that buyers are stepping in, right? And we have this VWAP, and market never closed below the VWAP. If you noticed it, market has touched the VWAP and moved higher from there. Okay, and even though there was a sell-off happened at this bar, this is a 15-minute bar, by the way, right? I just kept it to 15 minutes just for a simple explanation. Okay, and if you look at this bar, there were sellers stepping in at these levels, but they couldn't move the price below the VWAP. Okay, and from there on, price moved higher. But there was some sell-off came in between. Okay, and if you look at this, you can see the cyan color here, right? And you can see the min delta 0, right? So even in this case, if you see this, the min delta was 0, right? So that means what? Sellers had no control, even though the bar closed at the open, pretty close to the open. Okay, these are some of the indications we normally get when there is a tug of war between the buyers and sellers. Okay, and after that, market moved higher and closed at around 23,670 or something like that, right? Yeah, and closed around 23,700, pretty close to 23,700. Okay, so if you are long this morning, right, you'd have continually hold these positions. Okay, and you could have been in a good trending. You would have captured a good trending day. Okay. Now let's go and take a look at the Bank Nifty market profile chart first. So Bank Nifty had a similar setup, pretty close to the couple of days back, low, and it again went very close to it, but then recovered from there. And it stopped at the yesterday's point of control, which is also the complete this week's point of control, pretty close to this week's point of control. Okay, so market is recovering a little bit, but I still want to see bit more power by the bulls to move the market higher. Okay, let's go and take a look at the trading view chart. This is the Bank Nifty trading view chart, and this is a CPR. We all know. So market had a big gap down, And yesterday's close was around 53,400 and it opened at around 53,800. So almost like 500 to 600 point gap down, which is a pretty decent gap down, right? But what happened after that was, market was consolidating for a while, and then you can see that the buyer stepped in at these levels. Okay, let me clear this. Okay, you can see that the buyer stepped in at these levels. Okay, and here's the indication you get in the trading view chart. Okay, so I usually wait for the bar to close. Okay, and entry at this level, 53,200 level, all the way up to previous day's low, which is 400 level. Here you would have, rallied about 200 points, right? And then again another rally from here, 53,400 all the way up to 53,600, pretty close to 600. So it's again, 150 points, right? So this is how the script works. Since somebody asked, I'm explaining this, how the script works, okay? So let's go and take a look at the order flow chart. But before that, I want to make a note. When you look at, the market opening below the CPR with a huge gap down, right? Historically, there would be a recovery, right? And the recovery would be all the way up to the CPR, okay? So this is one of the common behavior. Anybody can see it in any of those charts if you use it. And if you put a VWAP on top of it, you can see a VWAP support from here, and then market might move higher. And you can go back and refer a lot of charts, and this pattern repeats pretty much, very, very often. Okay, so you can go and take a look at it and check for yourself. Right, now let's go and take a look at the order flow chart. Okay, now in the order flow chart, again, you had a good buying tail at the bottom. You can see that the max delta, right? Max delta is 0. But ask yourself a question: why the bar hasn't closed at the bottom? Because buyers were chipping in at these levels to push the market higher, right? And came back and tested the VWAP and then moved higher. Okay, so if you want to catch the trending move, an entry above the VWAP and trailing at the VWAP would have been a good trading strategy. So when you use order flow, market profile, and the trading view chart, you would get a composite of all these things, the best practices put together, and which could facilitate you to become a consistent trader, because trading is all about risk management, and you would know that where to keep your stop loss. In this case, right, you will see keep a stop loss here, right, an entry here, and then keep a stop loss at these levels, and then entry here, keep a stop loss at these levels. So this kind of helps you to know where the buyers are stepping in and where the sellers are stepping in. So if you look at these levels, there's a lot of selling happened at this point, right? You have 61% of selling happening at this bar. But if you look at this, max delta is also 0, but it is exactly happening close to the VWAP. Okay, and you wait for a follow through, right? The follow through is again on the downside, then these are not trapped. But if the follow through is not happening the way that sellers wanted to happen, then apparently it is a trap. The buyers are stepping in and moving the price higher to the top of, moving the price higher. Okay, so a simple analysis like this would really make you a big difference in the trading. I hope you like this video. Thank you. Jai Hind. Bye-bye.